Hello YouTube, this is Captain Underscore, once again playing Kerbal Space Program. As you can see, I'm on the runway. I have my space plane set up, and I'm gonna launch. So, the engines are active, and this thing is starting to accelerate down the runway. Now, as you might have already seen from the title of this video, I want to show you how to build a proper space shuttle in Kerbal Space Program. So by proper, I do not mean optically or in the way the real space shuttle works, but how to do it in Kerbal Space Program without messing up like I just did. So it's really hard to build a proper space plane, so one that can actually well, go into orbit and return from orbit and then perhaps land. Now that is because it's not supposed to be like that. It is possible, but it's hard. So if you're not really good at building space planes, well, if you're not really good at building space planes, you might not want to try that early on. So, your space plane is just not going to get into orbit that way. You're going to fly around a bit, if you can even take off. You can see I wasn't able to take off. No brakes again. And if you're actually able to take off, the question is really if you're going to get into orbit. And that's also a long way, because usually you don't have the lift, or you don't have the fuel for your jet engines, or you don't have enough fuel in your rocket, which is going to actually supposed to be the stage that you have when in orbit. So, to sort of overcome this problem, I'm going to show you a way to do that right now. So, first of all, I'm going to end this flight, go back to the spaceplane hangar. Okay, this is the Orbiter H2, just a random name that I picked, and the spaceplane is definitely not capable of getting into orbit like the way it is right now. So what people often try to do is just grab this thing, flip it around, and you know, just stick some rockets to the side, because launching it vertically really makes it a lot better and makes it a lot more realistic. So because that's how they do it in real life. You wouldn't have a space shuttle start on the runway. But okay, I'm messing this up. Whatever. So that's not going to work very well. Gosh. So that's not going to work very well, because launching it from the runway is just not as good as launching it from the launch pad. But how would you launch this thing from the launch pad? So if you leave this, go into the VAB, and try to reconstruct this thing somewhere here, you're going to have a problem when it comes to the symmetry, because using the dual symmetry there, the two-side symmetry, you're going to have a problem with everything that you build. So if you want to, for example, put down these, where are they? The gears. You want to stick them on this place. Wait a sec, there you go. So once you stick them down, you can see there's this one problem already. They're going to stick you out on different sides, because that's just the way the symmetry works in this construction mode. Now, if you're trying to do it manually without the symmetry, you're going to get it done somehow, but it's going to be very inaccurate, and it's going to be very hard to build and test this way. So, what I suggest is you really go back into the spaceplane hangar, build something that you think is capable of flying, or at least landing, and doing orbital maneuvers, perhaps docking to something else, and once you have that done, save it. So I've already saved mine as the Orbiter H2, and then you're going to have to leave Kerbal Space Program, so you're going to have to leave the application. Okay, once you've left the game, you're going to open the place where you saved Kerbal Space, or your files. So my Kerbal Space Program folder is right here. Depends on where you installed Kerbal Space Program. Then you're going to open the folder. You're going to find the saves folder, the name of your save, and mine is called Richard because that's my name. And you're going to open that, and you're going to find a ships folder, and in that you're going to find an SPH folder and a VAB folder. Now the SPH folder is the spaceplane hangar, and the VAB folder is the vertical, or no, what I'm saying. It's a vehicle assembly building. So practically this is the vertical launch thing, and that's the runway launch thing. So you've saved the Orbiter H2, or in my case I've saved the Orbiter H2 in this spaceplane hangar. What you're going to do is you're going to grab it, press Ctrl C, go back into the VAB folder, and paste it. Now I already have it here, so I'm going to replace it. Now what you're going to do, it's not done yet. You're going to have to open with, so these craft files would usually not be openable the way you have it. You're going to have to open them with Notepad. because these things are saved in a readable way. It's actually possible to edit them like this. So if you know how to do this stuff with your persistence file, then you probably know a little bit of this stuff already. Now what you're going to have to change is this. There is this type SPH thing. What you'll want to do is just change that to VAB. So that's already it. You're just going to have to save this, and you're done. Got the orbiter H2 and your VAB launch thing there. So you close that down and go back into the game. Now you can just open your, so we got our crappy plane here. You can just load the orbiter H2 in my case right from these files that you've got to your saved. Now as you can see, it's oriented horizontally, but once you click on the cockpit, it's going to flip in the right direction. So you're just going to move that upwards a bit, and you're almost done there. So now it's important that you do not mess around with anything here, because once you touch something, it's going to sort of flip to the VAB construction mode, and you're not going to be able to properly edit stuff. So I'm going to remove these because I know that they suck. So don't try to remove anything. If you want to make any changes, do them in the Spaceplane hangar, copy the file in the same way I just showed you to the VAB folder, and then do the rest in here. But don't edit this thing in here. You're going to have a lot of trouble. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach our launch stages. I'm going to make this really short, and I'm actually going to skip it. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to attach this fairly straightforward stuff. So I'm just going to have a few, where is it? Propulsion. There we go. Just stick all this standard stuff on there, and I'm going to make this, and we'll see when I'm done. Okay, having assembled our launch stage, still my standard asparagus, everything, well, it's really good for everything. Launch stage, you're going to have to pay special attention to the strutting. So be careful not to place the struts from here to the launch stage, but always place them from the launch stage to the ship, because that way the symmetry is not going to mess up, because otherwise you could just have floating struts somewhere so they don't actually connect, and that would be kind of bad considering you want to have this stuff to stabilize. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this. Just going to put one there, put one there. No, it actually did it on the other side. Cool. Okay. Then you're probably want to attach something like that. I don't know. Really not entirely sure. You're going to want to definitely have something on here, because in the end these other parts are going to have been fallen off, and we don't have this thing wobbling all the time. So let's just place something over there, and one over there. These other struts over here always make good reference points. I want to make this as symmetrical as possible, and yeah, that should be fine, I hope. Let's just add a few more struts to the sides there, because I'm not 100% sure if this is really gonna yeah, right at that point. That's good. Okay, same thing over there. Just stick them right there. Wonderful. So this looks a bit awkward right now. It does not look like the real space shuttle, which has the fuel tank attached to its bottom, but because you can't really control the amount of thrust that each engine outputs, you're not going to be able to sort of make it symmetrical so that it flies properly and not just tips over at some point, because that happens with every design you try to make like that. Trust me, it's not going to work. So when you're done doing this, you're going to save it, and if I didn't miss anything, this should be properly staged already. You can go and launch. Complete the launch pad. As you can see, Jebediah is flying this thing right now. I'm gonna wait till the laggy part's over. There we go. Okay. So turn up the thrust and see the resources. So I'm not sure if this launch is gonna work perfectly. It happens to me that at the point of my turning to the side, that the entire thing starts to just flip around, and that's just this problem with space planes. They're not made for vertical launch. But if you're good at building space planes, then you're going to be you're gonna have a lot easier time launching them into space, because you know, using normal ASAS instead of the avionics package, and in case I have both, which might not be the best idea, but you know, that's the way this thing is built. I know that it works, and that I failed multiple times before, so I might have to cut out if I actually crash. So let's launch after turning on ASAS. As you can see, this thing is starting to jitter around madly, but it works. It flies, kinda stable. Well, shouldn't have said too much. It's wobbling to the side a lot. Okay, we're gaining altitude really quickly. Can't thrust that hardly because the struts might be doing a good job, but they're not going to hold that long if we thrust too hard, and everything's just going to collapse. I have had that as well. Okay. Oh, we're accelerating too much. Let's just drop down on the thrust. Okay. We're going to be able to drop our first stage in a few seconds. Go. Okay, the thrust is going to be increased right now. That's not good for the space plane, but it should hold. And decrease it whenever it's possible, because if you thrust too hard on this, it's just going to crumble to pieces. There we go. Now carefully do this. Oh, and really do it in small bits. You want to turn on ASAS every couple of degrees, because if you don't do that, it's just gonna spin wildly and turn into the wrong direction. You won't be able, as you can see there, it's trying to do that on me already. Oh, there we see. Okay, we're going. We got it at 45 degrees already. As good as possible. We've been going a bit to the south, unfortunately, but whatever. So let's increase the thrust a bit. Wow, saved a lot of fuel there. Oh, carefully turn this thing, because the chances that you're gonna just flip over and do some mad maneuvers are really high. Don't want to. And there goes our stage. Just jettison that before we lose too much thrust. ASAS is really your only help at this stage, so without ASAS I wouldn't know how to launch this thing. It would just, I guess, go into any direction it would want to. So, our apoapsis is slowly gaining. See, at this point, the flipping isn't going to be as mad, because we've got really low atmospheric density, and that the main problem is that this thing is going to tip over because of its aerodynamics, and once you don't have air, you don't have aerodynamics, and that kind of solves the problem. It just works like any other spaceship from this point on. So don't have a great trajectory here. Should have banked over to the side more. Just wanted to get out of the atmosphere in first place. That's the most dangerous part about this, I guess. Come on, why is it jittering so much? Yeah, we're not going to get it that accurate anyways. Okay, let's see how long. Turn that off. So this burn's going to take about a minute with this engine, but we're not going to have that burning for a minute, I know. So I say we're going to launch, or we're going to start this burn at about, I don't know, 40 seconds out. That should be fine. Unless, of course, we're lucky and come on. Turn properly. Wait. Was that just physical time warp? Oh. I was already wondering. Thought it was doing physical time warp there. Oh, time warp one last time. Oh, we don't have to warp. Okay. There we go. Doing good. So this thing is slowly burning into orbit, as it should. There we go. Got half of our burn. Hey, we might actually do this on this engine. So slowly wait until about... Turn off that. It's annoying me to see all that jittering. Well, worked on the first try. That was lucky. Okay. Burn further. We just want to go sure that we do not have a periapse. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna toss this part and thrust the last part with this engine, because we don't want to have more orbital debris around Kerbal. Okay, I guess we've got our orbit. Hey, and it's fairly accurate actually, that's pretty good. So, we've got an apoapsis of 75 and 72, that's fine. But for security I'm just gonna burn a bit more. Not happy with it being that low. 75 is absolute minimum. There we go. So what's the apoapsis now? 76 and 75.5. Okay, that's perfect. Really good. Okay, turn off ASAS, quick save, and we've got this thing into orbit. So it's working like a normal, like any other spacecraft right now. I've actually got a docking clamp here, so we can see if I can perhaps dock onto the space station. We're on a lower orbit, so we're gonna have to thrust prograde a bit to yeah, sort of let it catch up. But I'm gonna figure that out in a sec. So I'll be back when I've got my orbit trajectories changed. Okay, I'm back, and because I was really lucky, I didn't have to do any real orbital maneuvering. Just set up this one node here, that's where I left you, set up this node here, and already had an intersect and 2 orbits right over there, 2.9 kilometers away from the space station, which is perfect. Never had that much luck before. Okay, we're gonna thrust Jebediah, really eager to finally see the space station. He's only been up there once, and I guess he's missing it already. Okay, kabloosh, we've got our orbit, I guess. Let's remove the node. 5.4 kilometers, we can do better than that. Oh, we increased it, whatever. Whatever. Let's not ruin this any more than it is already. Okay. This, although we could perhaps turn around and thrust retrograde. If this thing would finally turn. There we go. We're making it worse again. Okay, whatever. We're not going to make it any more accurate that way. So, we're just going to time warp around this thing and wait till we someday, or when the space station is someday going to catch up to us. We're not catching up to it. Going around ever so slowly. But we're coming in fairly close there. Okay, so let's hope the frame rate drop's not going to be too incredible when we encounter this thing. Oh, I think we just did. Or did we? I'm not sure. No, impossible. We'd have a real FPS drop if we just encounter it. And it's still 30 clicks away, so that's not realistic. Okay. Slowly coming in there. And let's go here. We're gonna have to do quite a bit of a correction burn there, but you know, that's what comes with these maneuvers. If you want to do it in one maneuver, you're gonna have to do it with a lot of fuel. Slowly moving away there. 8 kilometers, that's fine if we are able to even that out before it moves too far away. There we go. Good. Now, considering that we're about 9 clicks away, we should do a few more correction thrusts there. I'm not going to cut too much out, or not anything at all, if this doesn't take too long. I hope it doesn't take too long. Let's get to about, let's say 50 meters per second. That's good. But we don't want to overdo this. We don't have that much fuel. Or we could take the fuel from these engines actually, but that does not replace our oxidizer, so we don't have that option. Ah, got a bit of a cold there. Sorry for that. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna cut this out. This is gonna take too long. I'll see you when I'm really close to the station. Okay, even though it's pitch black, we're actually just right next to the space station right now. So you might be able to see something if you, I don't know, turn up the brightness or the video quality. I'm not sure. Depends on how dark things get on YouTube. Whatever. We're gonna have to dock this thing. The question is how. I suppose we're gonna do it. Well, this docking port here seems fine. If we orient this thing so it's facing, like the top part is facing here and the rest is going down that way. If you can imagine what I'm trying to show you in 2D space there. Okay. We're gonna have to be careful because ASAS is not available to us. If I turn on ASAS and RCS, this thing is gonna freak out because we've got about, oh, we've actually got 20 FPS around this thing. 15. Whatever. It's working. Okay, let's turn a chase view because I'm not getting anything decent done around here. Gosh, it's dark. Okay, we'll want to rotate that way. And stop, please. Now we're going to want to rotate that way. This thing is, of course, moving achingly slow, as we're used to it. Okay, let's see if we can get this properly aligned to the docking port that I'm looking for. And we're messing it up, so let's turn on ASAS. Turn to the right a bit. Oh gosh, we're gonna collide with this thing there. No, we're not. So, now set the proper port to be our target. Not that we'd really need that. And turn on RCS. Well, see what I meant. If you turn on RCS and ASAS at the same time, you're gonna have some pretty bad results. That's because the FPS is so low, and as I said before, FPS and I don't know, physics time are directly combined. No. Careful. Oh, turn off. I've got to turn off RCS before I turn on ASS. Whatever. Getting confused with all the acronyms here. Okay. Null out the vertical velocity. Okay, it is pretty dark, and it's kind of hard to do any decent maneuvering in this complete darkness. Guess I should have brought some lights with me, but okay, this is taking quite a while. So let's get rid of our forward velocity there, and oop. I wish I could have this thing around the... I wish I'd placed the RCS thrusters around the center of mass. That way I wouldn't have this... so we'll have to translate over to the left. I wouldn't have this problem with the rotating while thrusting thing, because that gets kind of annoying at some point. Don't want to break off that solar panel there. That would be a pity. Oh no, what are we doing? Honestly, am I that bad at this? Ugh. Okay, we just collided with the solar panel. Not bad. At all. Okay, let's get this properly set up. Let's see if we can do this with ASAS, because that helps a lot. Thrust forwards, up, and thrust upwards. Nah, we're not getting anywhere. Gosh, stop jittering around like that. Perhaps we can just slowly thrust forwards and upwards a bit. Ah, yes, we're getting close, we're getting close. No, no, other way, other way, other way, other way. Ah, yes, yes, no, 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 no. Don't miss it now. Come on. Really not good at all, but it's better than nothing. We are docking onto this thing. There we go. Jebediah's docked onto this space station. Now let's get this thing into daylight. Want to see that daytime. Good. Okay, there we go. Now the FPS drop is beginning, because the lighting is probably the problem. Gonna have to turn down the graphics every time I dock onto this thing. Whatever. I hope the FPS aren't too low for you. People are just not gonna turn the camera that much. As you can see, he is docked onto the space station. It's working kinda well, as long as your space station isn't too big. So, let's not make this too long, and I'll just be back when this thing is re-entering, so that's really standard stuff. Okay, I just love these pictures. Whatever. I have my trajectory planned out. Let's just set up the camera. Okay. And the way it looks, we're going to land somewhere in the desert. I hope. Because that would be kind of neat. As far as I know, the pyramids are somewhere around... yeah, they got to be somewhere just right about there, I guess. From what I've seen from orbit. If these are indeed the pyramids. I have not looked at any internet pages. I could have probably found that out real quickly. But, you know, I don't want to spoil it for myself. Or for my viewers. Who knows? I'm going to find that stuff. So, I'm pretty positive I'm not going to be able to land this thing. Never been good at landing, especially not space planes. The last time I tried this, I think I did somewhere over there in this place, and as you can see, it's kind of hilly, and hills generally stop good landings, so you're just gonna crash into some mountainside and it's over with it. Okay, what we'll want to do is re-enter, I guess, and that's gonna take a while. If we switch to 2 times physical time acceleration, as you can see, it's starting to flip real badly, or to at least jitter a lot, and we shouldn't go over 2 times time acceleration with this thing, not whilst re-entering. Okay, slowly getting there. Slowly, slowly. Come on. So, enough of that. Let's not accelerate anymore. As you can see, the re-entry effects are picking up. Just gonna let it flip to the side it wants to flip to. Wow, gosh, that's quite a bit of re-entry heat. I wish I could see that from the cockpit. Wow. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that. Guess it's not healthy. At least I wouldn't want to be in there right now. Okay, intake air is slowly increasing. And I guess we should be able to turn on these engines and turn off this one. We shouldn't need it right now. In case we do. Okay. Yep, they're picking up. Both engines are picking up, that's important. If only one engine picks up, then you're going to have a serious problem. And okay, let's turn on this thing. Because these ones are just not getting us enough power to pitch upwards. As you can see, we're seeing big mountains over there. This is like in any bad movie. Guess we're gonna just crash in there if we don't gain some altitude right now. Gonna have to fly over those, please. Whoa, let's switch to better controls there. Oh, okay, whoa. This thing is really horrible to fly. Trust me on that. So, if I've got this engine on, the good thing is we're going to burn down this fuel, which is going to make us a lot lighter, which I guess is something we could go for. And the fuel's empty, so let's turn off that engine and try to get ourselves some altitude, if we indeed are able to do so. Because these mountains don't look very friendly. I do not want to crash into those. And it looks like we're almost gaining altitude there. Just gotta get a bit higher. Come on, just want to get over those mountains. Yeah, as you can see, this plane is horrible. Can barely stay in the air. But we've got positive vertical velocity, so that's good. But as soon as I let go of the S key, this thing is going to drop down like a stone. So I'll be real careful with that. Can I turn on ASAS, please? Ah, no, I can't. Stay upwards. This is a plane, it's supposed to fly, not to drop. So I'm looking for a proper landing site over here. Nothing really looks that awesome, to be honest. We got a lot of fuel. Could go for a while. Next time I'm going to attach more of these surfaces, because I'm not happy with the way I'm pitching up. That's not enough at all. Okay, let's search for the pyramids. Where would they be? Well, getting a really horrible FPS drop, but I guess they'd be over there. So that's still quite a bit of distance. Let's see, we're gaining altitude. Like we're supposed to in a plane. I'm just gonna cut this out and see when we've got a better place to land. I hope I'm gonna find one. Well, the way it looks, the pyramids aren't behind this mountain, as I previously assumed. They're obviously somewhere else. But, you know, I saw some sparkling from orbit and I thought that's gotta be the pyramids. But, yeah, it obviously wasn't the pyramids. So, who cares? We're just gonna try to land right over there, close to the sea. So, the Kerbal Navy can pick us up over there. If we indeed manage to survive. So let's break down real hard. As you can see, we're falling incredibly fast. And as you see, the terrain is real hilly. So let's hope we can actually land down there and not die like in the other attempt. Not sure where the best place to land would be. Just like guessing myself. Stuff around here, it looks pretty bad wherever I look. So they've all got these little dunes over here. We'll see. terrain up front does not... Whoa, gosh, that was pretty harsh. This thing doesn't steer as well as I thought. Well, I didn't think it would steer well in the first place. Yeah, I guess going left is the best option. Come on, turn. We don't have all day. We want to land over there. I can see this little bump over there. Don't want to crash into that like I did in the first attempt. Yay, there we go. Good job. So let's lower the gear. Lower the gear, I said. Thank you. Are those cacti? Didn't know they had cacti in this game. Ah, we're going up again. But I don't want to go up. I want to go down. Ah, don't like this. Come on. Pitch up, please. At least a little bit. Oh gosh, we're having another hill up there. Don't want to go towards that hill. But look, it's actually cacti. That's funny. Come on, please make it. Please make it. I know you can, Jeb. I know you can. You're the space pilot guy. You can do this. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Don't die, Jeb. Oh, cactus. Careful, cactus. A cactus. Brakes, please. Oh gosh, jumpy. Very rough terrain there. Got some really rough terrain. And we actually survived. Hey. Good job, Jeb. You did it. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video in which we managed to actually assemble, launch, orbit, rendezvous, dock, deorbit, fly, and land the space plane, which we launched from the launch pad, not from the runway, in one go. Yeah, really proud about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my other videos if you watched them, and that you might actually subscribe to my channel. I'd thank you a lot for that. So, yeah, we'll see you next time, and yeah, thanks for watching.